In today's video, it is week 2 of college football pick'em. I'll talk about how I did in week 1 and the games and picks I have for week 2. Let's do it. What's going on, guys? It's your boy Freakin Deakins coming to you today. Last week I went 9-3. Games I missed were UNC. I picked Minnesota. I picked LSU, and I don't remember what the other one I missed was. But anyways, I picked 9-3 last week. I'm actually tied for, I think, 6th in the work poll. The winners were 10-2. So winners were 10. Well, there was 11 points. I had 10 points with 9 wins because I won the tiebreaker game with 2 points. But there were 5 people tied at 10-2 last week. So with my week 2 college football picks, got my paper here, got some lines. So I made my picks on Tuesday, day after Labor Day, so Tuesday. With the hope that I can record this early since I got a very busy weekend. I'm going to miss part of the Michigan-Texas game because the gym I lift at is hosting a powerlifting game, and I'm part of running that. So I'm going to be missing I'm going to miss all of game day. I mean, I would have missed all game day right now as it is because DirecTV is arguing with Disney, but nevertheless, I'm going to miss the beginning of some of the games this week. So wanted to get this out, because I haven't been paying attention to much coverage. It's been a very busy week. So here we go. Nevertheless, here we go. First game number 1, Western Michigan at number 2, Ohio State. The line is Ohio State 38.5 point favorites. Once again, this was as of Tuesday when I put this together. So if the line has changed, the line has changed. But 38.5, I've got Ohio State. I wrote Ohio State because they should. I was semi-impressed this last week versus Akron with a lot of the pieces, the random pieces that they have brought in and or came from high school or from the transfer portal. Very interesting to see how it's all going to fit. Jeremiah Smith is as advertised. He's a boss. The defense looked pretty good for missing their middle linebacker. And the offensive line was definitely a smorgasbord that played okay. I was impressed with Will Howard's speed and size because I hadn't watched him much when he played at Kansas State. I think overall, they should easily dismiss of Western Michigan. Game number 2, Bowling Green, Penn State. Penn State is a 34.5 point favorite at home hosting Bowling Green State University. My comments here, we are, because they are a better team, sincerely a better team. They looked really good last week versus West Virginia amongst the intermittent rain, but I'm picking we are Penn State. Game number 3, UMass at Toledo. Here, real quick, the line is Toledo minus 20 point favorites at home, as they should be, because UMass is a UMess. And go Toledo, go Rockets. They looked okay in game 1 versus Duquesne. I think they could have been better. I think it was a slow start. I think that's been the theme of week 1, is there were a lot of teams that were supposed to win that had slow starts. Toledo is one of them. So go Rockets. Game number 4, Michigan State at Maryland. This is going to be interesting. Maryland is right now, or was an 8 point favorite when I put this together and made my pick. I picked Maryland. I watched some of the Michigan State game last week. I forget who they were playing. Nevertheless, Florida Atlantic, Florida Atlantic, I think it was. Anyways, I watched some of that Michigan State game and not super impressed. I know they have a true freshman quarterback. I think it's Childs. Nevertheless, he played like a freshman, right? And that's okay. But I'm picking Maryland to win. Game number 5, Iowa State. So Iowa State is at Iowa. Iowa is a 2.5 point favorite. Now, I watched some of the Iowa game this last week, and they put up 40 points. 40. I don't think they put 40 points on the board in the last 8 weeks last year, combined. So the fact that they put up 40 and they're at home, I'm going to go with Iowa. Once again, because I actually saw offense last week. So, go Hawkeyes. Game number 6, number 15 Tennessee at number 24 NC State. Tennessee is a 7.5-point favorite once again as of Tuesday, and Tennessee put up some numbers last week. I know they played who the hell cares, but they put up some numbers last week. NC State struggled a bit, so therefore, and I think NC State was even at home. So therefore, I'm going to go with Tennessee. I have here because they are a very good team, and NC State did not impress me in week 1. So we're going Tennessee. Now, game number 7. I had to put the slate of games this week was not very great. So let's just say that this one's on here because of maybe because of who's playing and who's coaching. So game number 7, Colorado at Nebraska. Nebraska 7.5-point home favorite. I like Coach Prime. I don't like this Colorado team at all. I think they've got a couple good players, Jimmy Horn Jr. and Travis Hunter and Shedeur. I will say that Shiloh, the other Sanders guy who plays defensive back, he had a few plays that were a bit questionable. One got called that was really mental mistake, but seemed a borderline on the dirtier side. I'm saying borderline because I can see why somebody would say that, but I don't know that I 100% believe it. He just kind of seems like I don't want to say like an old Deion Sanders in 2024, but it's kind of going there. And I just don't like it. I think there's too many individuals and not enough teams to win a football game. So therefore, I'm going with Nebraska because I wrote the Buffs as a team did not impress me. Shedeur and Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horn Jr. did, but as a team, they did not impress me. Game 8, Boise State at Oregon. Boise State at number 3, Oregon. They didn't, and that may have changed with these. Once again, this was done Tuesday before any of the rankings changed. So if any of these rankings come across as wrong, I did this on Tuesday. Number 3, Oregon. Oregon's a 19.5-point favorite. Once again, I told you the slate of games was not great, so this was a non-localized pick off of the mess of picks available. So Boise State, they eked out a win, and their running back had 300-plus yards and 6 touchdowns for Boise State last week. He was crazy good. Be very interested because week 1 for Oregon was not that good, hosting FCS Idaho Vandals, and they won by 10. So I'm picking Oregon because they are better than the team that showed up week 1. Mississippi State at Arizona State. The Arizona State is a 6.5-point favorite. For those of you who know me, know I'm a big Arizona guy. I go to Scottsdale, Phoenix area 2 to 3 times a year as my kind of home away from home, get away for a long weekend or a week, 4, 5, 6 days. Big fan of the Arizona weather. Even in August when it's ridiculously, crazily hot, I still enjoy it. So I put this game on there mainly because, once again, the listing of games was not great, but I'm an Arizona State guy. So I'm picking Arizona State because it's my home away from home. So, go Sun Devils. Game number 10, Duke at Northwestern. It's a Friday nighter. Right now, Northwestern is a 2.5-point favorite at home. However, I am a Duke basketball fan. I have family that went to Duke and played and they didn't play basketball, but I've watched Duke basketball for years because of family who went there. And I grew up wearing Duke shirts and Duke hats and rooting for Sean Dockery and Jay Williams and Shane Battier and Carlos Boozer and Dunleavy and J.J. Redick and John Shire and Nolan Smith and all of them. So the one person I did not really root for was Josh McRoberts and Greg Paulus. I feel like they were bums, but nevertheless, I'm going to pick Duke to beat Northwestern in Northwestern. Reason I have on here, Malik Murphy is a stud at QB that makes others better. He came from Texas, transfer. He's a good quarterback. Number 11, game number 11. Georgia Tech at Syracuse. So once again, I'm picking this. As of Tuesday, Georgia Tech was a 3-point favorite. So tight line Georgia Tech impressed me versus Florida State in week 1. They won again last week. Syracuse, impressed me in week 1 as well. So Syracuse hosting Georgia Tech. I'm picking Syracuse because did you guys see Kyle McCord last week? He played really, really good. So I think he's going to do that again. If their defense can stop the rambling wreck, then they should win. So I'm going with Syracuse as a home underdog. And then the game of the week, game number 12, the 2-point game, Texas at Michigan. It's a noon kick in Ann Arbor. Ann Arbor's 45 minutes from me. I'll tell you that forecast right now, it's got a high of 60s, high of 67 down here just in Northwest Ohio. So we could say it might be a little warmer up there, maybe a little cooler, maybe the same. So you could probably say it's maybe a 70s degree day, maybe, which is kind of the opposite of what Texas plays in. But I'm going to tell you something. Texas at this point was a 7.5-point favorite on the road. I'm going to pick Texas to win. I'm gonna hook them this time. Why am I going to hook them this time? Because I watched 3 quarters of that Michigan versus Fresno State game, and their offense looked rough. Michigan's offense looked real rough. So I'm going to pick Texas because I think Michigan's defense can maybe stop Texas in some of the possessions because I think they're good. But I don't know that Michigan can score against a defense like Texas. That's clearly a number 4 ranked team in the country, Texas. I don't know that they can do that because there was no innovation. Their offensive line couldn't block for running. Donovan Edwards did absolutely nothing. They started, I think it was Dallas Warren as quarterback, and he was as vanilla as they came. Not that that's a bad thing, having a pocket passer quarterback, but a pocket passer that can't complete a pass that's worth something is not really worth it. They brought in Alex Orji, and he ran some and did some things, but then he threw a first pass and he skipped it to the receiver. That shouldn't have happened. And so I just don't know what their offensive identity is. I don't know that they know what their offensive identity is because they couldn't run the ball for hell last week. So against the Fresno State team that, they're not Michigan level. And that was a 23-10 game before a late pick 6. So I'm going with Texas, and my combined points I have on here is 40. So that's what I'm going with this week. Like it or hate it, that's what I'm cooking. Away we go. It's week 2. Let's go get the college football. Let's go get it. I can't wait to watch more Saturday afternoon. I might even go to the Toledo game because Toledo hosting UMass, I know it's kind of a garbage game, but they don't start till 3:30. I thought they were a noon kick. And as I mentioned earlier, rocking the powerlifting meet at the gym that I'm helping run, I wouldn't have been able to make it. But 3:30 game, I might be able to swing. So we shall see. All right, take care. Leave a comment. Make sure you subscribe. Leave a comment. Like the video. And, tell me how bad my picks are. Tell me how bad you think my picks are and how bad you think I'm going to do this year. Or tell me how good you think I'm going to do. I don't know. You tell me. All right. Talk to you guys soon.